Let's talk about money. It's a subject that affects us all, yet we often shy away from discussing it openly. But today, we're diving right in. This is a story about two dads, different as night and day. Their lives, their choices, and their fortunes couldn't be more contrasting. One, we'll call him Rich Dad, was my friend's father. He was a successful businessman, always dressed in sharp suits, driving the latest luxury cars, and living in a beautiful home. The other, my own dad, we'll call him Poor Dad. He was hardworking, always putting in long hours, but constantly struggling to make ends meet. His clothes were worn, and the stress of unpaid bills was a constant presence at our kitchen table. Both were good men, dedicated fathers who wanted the best for their families. But their relationship with money? Worlds apart. Rich Dad exuded confidence and ease, while Poor Dad often looked concerned and weary. You see, it's not just about how much you earn, but what you do with it. Rich Dad invested wisely, saved diligently, and always had a plan for his money. Poor Dad, on the other hand, worked hard, but never seemed to get ahead. Your habits, your mindset, they make all the difference. Rich Dad was always learning, reading financial books, setting goals, and planning for the future. Poor Dad, despite his hard work, never took the time to educate himself about money. Rich Dad taught me about building wealth. He showed me the importance of investing, understanding the stock market, and creating multiple streams of income. Poor Dad, bless his heart, he taught me how to work for it. He believed in the value of hard work and dedication, but he never quite grasped the concept of making money work for him. One chased financial freedom, the other, security. Rich Dad sought opportunities to grow his wealth and live a life of abundance. Poor Dad sought stability, a steady paycheck, and the comfort of knowing his family was taken care of. This isn't about judging, folks. It's about learning. We can all take something valuable from both perspectives. It's about understanding the different paths and making informed choices. It's about understanding the choices we make and how they shape our financial future. Every decision, every habit, every mindset shift can lead us closer to financial freedom or further away from it. So, let's dive in, shall we? Let's explore these contrasting fortunes and see what lessons we can learn to better our own financial journeys. Rich Dad was up before the sun, always learning, reading newspapers, business books, you name it. His day wasn't just about work, it was about investing in himself. He'd spend time with his network, other successful people, bouncing ideas, exploring opportunities, always looking for ways to grow his wealth. Evenings were for family, yes, but also for reviewing his finances, planning investments. His money was always working for him, even while he slept. It wasn't about luck, folks. It was about dedication, discipline, a relentless pursuit of financial knowledge. He was in control of his money, not the other way around. Now, my own dad, Poor Dad, he was a different story. Worked his tail off 9 to 5, always for someone else. A good, honest living, but it never seemed enough. He'd come home tired, watch TV, relax. Finances? That was a weekend chore, usually met with a sigh and a shake of the head. He lived paycheck to paycheck, just like clockwork. A sudden expense, a car repair, could throw everything off balance. Don't get me wrong, he worked hard, but he was stuck in the rat race, trading time for money, never getting ahead of the game. Here's the thing about Rich Dad and Poor Dad. Their financial habits were like night and day, and these habits spoke volumes about their financial destinies. Rich Dad, he lived below his means. He understood the importance of financial discipline and made it a point to prioritize his spending. He invested first, ensuring that his money worked for him. He spent what was left after making his investments, which allowed him to build a solid financial foundation. This habit of investing first and spending later was crucial. It meant that Rich Dad always had a portion of his income growing and compounding over time. Poor Dad, he did the opposite. He spent first, often on things that brought immediate gratification but had little long-term value. He saved what was left, which was usually not much. This left him with little to no savings and a constant feeling of financial insecurity. Poor Dad thought a new car, a bigger house, meant success. He equated material possessions with financial achievement, but this mindset often led him to live beyond his means. Rich Dad, on the other hand, saw money as a tool, a way to build wealth and create financial freedom. He focused on acquiring assets that would generate income and appreciate in value. Poor Dad saw money as a way to keep up with the Joneses, leading to debt and worry. His focus on appearances rather than financial stability often resulted in financial stress. These different mindsets, these habits, they determined their financial destinies. Rich Dad's disciplined approach led to financial stability and growth, while Poor Dad's habits led to financial strain. It's not rocket science, folks, but it's crucial to understand. The way you manage your money, the habits you form, they can make all the difference in your financial future. By adopting the right habits, you can set yourself on a path to financial success. Section 5. Investing wisely. Rich Dad's playbook for growing wealth. Rich Dad loved to invest. Real estate, stocks, businesses. He saw opportunities where others saw risks. Money makes money, he'd say. He understood the power of compound interest. Like a snowball rolling downhill, he'd explain. The earlier you start, the bigger it gets. He wasn't afraid to take calculated risks. He did his research, sought advice from experts, and made informed decisions. He understood that investing wasn't gambling. It was about putting your money to work for you, building a secure future. Section 6. Trapped in the rat race. Poor Dad's financial struggles. Poor Dad, on the other hand, he played it safe. He believed that the best way to secure his future was to save every penny he earned. He kept his money in a savings account, earning next to nothing. The interest rates were so low that his savings barely grew over the years. He thought investing was risky, something only rich people did. The stock market seemed like a gamble to him, and he didn't want to take any chances. He relied on his job for security, never realizing that relying on a single source of income could be risky too. He worked long hours, hoping for promotions and raises that never seemed to come. He lived with a scarcity mindset, always worried about money. Every month he struggled to pay the bills and often found himself short on cash. He didn't understand the impact of inflation. The rising cost of living meant that his money was worth less and less each year, how the value of his money decreased over time, making it harder to get ahead. He saw his savings dwindle in purchasing power but didn't know how to combat it. He was stuck in a cycle of working, earning, and spending, never breaking free. Despite his hard work, he never seemed to get ahead, always feeling like he was running in place. As he grew older, the stress of not having enough for retirement weighed heavily on him. He worried about how he would support himself in his later years. He hesitated to seek financial advice, thinking it was only for the wealthy. This hesitation kept him from learning strategies that could have improved his financial situation. Poor Dad often felt regretful, wishing he had made different financial choices. He wanted to provide a better life for his family, but felt trapped by his circumstances. It wasn't until much later that he began to understand the importance of financial literacy. He started reading books and learning about investments, hoping it wasn't too late to make a change. With newfound knowledge, Poor Dad began to see a glimmer of hope. He realized that it was never too late to start making smarter financial decisions. Section 7. The Power of Knowledge, Rich Dad's Secret Weapon. Rich Dad was a lifelong learner. He read books, attended seminars, surrounded himself with smart people. He understood that knowledge was power, especially when it came to money. He taught me about financial literacy. Things like budgeting, investing, understanding financial statements. He believed that everyone should be financially educated, regardless of their background. He instilled in me a love of learning, a thirst for knowledge. He taught me that the more you know, the better equipped you are to make informed decisions about your money. Section 8. Living within your means, a lesson from Rich Dad. Live below your means, Rich Dad would say. It wasn't about deprivation, but about being mindful of your spending. He believed in enjoying life, but not at the expense of your future. He taught me the difference between needs and wants. He emphasized the importance of saving and investing before spending on luxuries. He believed in being content with what you have, while striving for more. Section 9. Breaking the cycle of debt. Rich Dad's debt-free philosophy. Rich Dad hated debt. He saw it as a trap, a burden that held people back from achieving financial freedom. He believed in living debt-free, even if it meant driving an older car or living in a modest home. He taught me the importance of using credit responsibly. He explained how high-interest debt could cripple your finances, keeping you trapped in a cycle of payments. He believed that true wealth wasn't about how much you owned, but how much you owed. Section 10. The importance of financial education. Rich Dad believed that financial education was the key to breaking the cycle of poverty. He knew that most schools didn't teach kids about money, leaving them ill-equipped to manage their finances as adults. He encouraged me to learn about personal finance, to read books, attend seminars, and seek guidance from mentors. He believed that everyone had the potential to achieve financial success, but it required knowledge and effort. Section 11. Building a Legacy. Rich Dad's Vision for the Future. Rich Dad's ultimate goal wasn't just about accumulating wealth for himself. He wanted to leave a legacy for his family, to ensure their financial security for generations to come. He taught me about the importance of giving back to the community, of using your wealth to make a positive impact on the world. He believed that true success wasn't just about money, but about making a difference.